Hello everyone, welcome to Career Preamble's Meet the Professional series, where we bring to you interviews of professionals who have some very interesting careers. So today we have with us a very special guest who has an extremely unique career. He is none other than the voice of Bigg Boss. Yes, you heard me right, the voice of Bigg Boss, Mr. Vijay Vikram Singh. Vijay is a voiceover professional and has been the narrator's voice of Bigg Boss since season 4. He also happens to hold an MBA in international business. Now, isn't that interesting? So let's learn from Vijay himself how he came to be the voice of Bigg Boss and some other interesting facts about being a voiceover professional. Hello Vijay, welcome to Career Preamble. We would love to know more about you. Please give us a peek into what your work is like.
हेलो गुड इवनिंग मेरा नाम विजय विक्रम सिंह है और मैं एक वॉइस ओवर प्रोफेशनल हूँ। आप सभी ने मेरी आवाज़ कई सारे टीवी शोज़ में सुनी होगी। मैं पिछले 9 साल से इस प्रोफेशन में हूँ एंड been associated with some of the biggest TV shows in the country like Bigg Boss, like Indian Idol, Saregama, Lil Champ, Saregama, Dance India Dance, and many other shows, Master Chef India. I've been the narrator's voice of that show, of these shows. I've also been involved in a lot of dubbing work with movies like Hotel Transylvania 3, dubbed for the Game of Thrones series for the first 4 seasons for the character of Ser Davos. So this is what I've been doing for the last 9 years. I have been in this profession since 2009 and it's been a wonderful 9-year journey. And now I'm branching out into more creative endeavors. I'm acting in web series, in movies. I'm also hosting events. So it's been a very wonderful and fulfilling journey and life has been good.
So, how did narration happen to you? Was it something that you'd always planned on doing?
I came into this career accidentally. It was not something that I knew about. I did my MBA from BHU in Banaras, FMS BHU, and I was working with a public sector undertaking called MSTC Limited, Metal Scrap Trade Corporation. I was working in the import finance department, looking after import finance for raw material of steel industry. I was transferred to Bombay. When in Bombay, a friend's friend told me that you have a good voice. But I had no idea what to do with it, so the friend's friend took me to a studio where studio experience where I didn't do very well, but I loved the experience, and that's how I decided way back in 2006 that I want to pursue this as a career. But I also decided that I need some time and I should prep myself for it, so I quit my government job and took up a sales job at a radio station just to understand how media works and build up contacts. And then for 3 years I prepared, and eventually in 2009 with a lot of motivation from my wife, I took this up as a full-time career, and Dance India Dance season 1 was my first show as a voiceover professional.
So, Vijay, we would like to know from you how challenging is it to establish oneself in this industry?
Initially, I faced a lot of challenges. The biggest challenge, of course, is to establish yourself because there are voices for every project, and people are ready to experiment, but they're reluctant to give newcomers a chance because you need to spend time with the newcomers, and in media, especially, time is of great essence. So not a lot of people are very keen on working with ranked newcomers. So that was a very big challenge that I faced initially. But I persevered and persisted. That really helped in making the cut, making the breakthrough. And 1.5 year into the career, I was offered Bigg Boss season 4, and since then things became slightly easier.
Wow, so that's how Bigg Boss happened. Moving on, Vijay, what do you think is a must-have trait for any individual who wants to, be a part of this voiceover industry?
The most important trait in pursuing a career in voiceovers, or for that matter in any of the performing arts, be it acting, be it music, is your passion for that skill. Because in this industry, in the creative industry, there are no set formulas. So it's not like you put in 2 and 2 and you get 4. So you need to be really passionate about what you're doing, because there's so many rejections in this field that unless you are passionate, you're not going to survive. So you need to be passionate, and then you need to be perseverant. You need to pursue and persevere for hours, days, months, at times years, before you get that wonderful break. So these are, and of course your skill set, the talent for that particular skill, you need to be very, very good. Mediocrity is not acceptable in this space. So you need to have these traits if you want to succeed or make a mark in this field.
Lastly, is there any advice that you would like to share with our young viewers?
If you want to pursue voiceovers as a career, then you need to understand the craft, know the avenues that exist, know where you can position yourself, which part of the voicing space you want to position yourself in, and then pursue it accordingly, and then go about doing your job accordingly. It is like any other profession. You need to prepare yourself before you take the plunge. Like market positioning, product positioning, all of that has to be factored in before you take that decision of getting into this field, taking this up as a profession. There are a lot of avenues, dubbing in the movie space, dubbing in the animation space, and there are voiceovers in ad films, there are voiceovers in TV shows, there are voiceovers in TV promos. So there are a lot of avenues that exist, but you just first need to know what you want to do within the voiceover space, what you need to position yourself into, and then you can take a plunge.
These have been some extremely insightful points, Vijay. Thank you so much for giving us a sneak peek into your glamorous profession. Also, a big thank you to all you Career Preamble fans for following our page and for inquiring about so many interesting careers. Please keep sending in your queries. We would be glad to answer them all.
Hey guys, we hope you liked the video. Subscribe to the Career Preamble YouTube channel by clicking on the bell icon.